has only played Train, not too often, like 8 times or something like that. So kind of similar amount of times to Fnatic. And it's been kind of dodgy, particularly like their last 3 or 4 games have been kind of up and down. They traded games with Virtus Pro. They lost to Spirit in a pretty close fashion in Katowice. So it does seem like there is one map that could be won by Fnatic. It does seem like Train would be it, right?
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that assessment. I think it had to be between Mirage and Train. Obviously, we knew Mirage was not going to get picked, so this was always going to be their obvious choice. And you mentioned about VP. Their last 2 games have been against Virtus Pro. 25-23 loss in EPL Pro League season. And the other one was in Katowice, where they actually beat, VP 16-12. So
yeah,
they did end up getting revenged on. But at the same time, we know they can take some of the best teams on the planet on this map to their limits as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, what really gives Astralis the edge coming into this is, I think they're tactically just a better team. They always have been. I mean, the system that they have in place, they play defaults out to perfection whenever they're on form and their comms are up. No one really plays a default out better than this team does as far as taking pieces of map control, working themselves into mid-round situations, and then making the right decisions once they get there. They can bring in some set pieces. And I think the other big thing going for them, Vince, is on a map that can be very op-heavy, Device is a superior opera on the server. There's no question about that. And they have that secondary opping option with dupreeh as well, going up against like JW and Jaquinho, who, again, both players have not been in good form lately, Vince. So, again, it does seem like Astralis are the favorites coming into this map.
Oh, I think handedly that is the case. They are the favorites to take the 2-0 clean sweep, but we are live on to Train with Fnatic after their choice of map, starting over on the T side. Playing it pretty slow to kick things off. Bomb drop back over towards the T main side. We're going to see no ruthless aggression. And I feel like the way, as you said, Astralis is such a well-coordinated machine. The way Fnatic maybe win this is to make it as scrappy as possible.
Yeah, they do have a decent amount of utility here to go for a set piece on this outer yard. They'll have smokes for Ivy, potentially Z connector, or maybe one of the other lanes if they want to block that off to try to get a little bit of extra space. They have the flashes to kind of come through those smokes. They have the Molotov as well to perhaps put on the bomb train to push anybody off that would be playing between the boxes or on the lip of the train. Also could be saving it for post plant. So they definitely have some options. They're setting up, indeed. They have no present spot call, so we know that they're definitely committed to this outer execute. It's all about timing, and here come those smoke grenades, so it seems like the hit's coming any moment now, Vince.
Yeah, Magic is going to be forced away from the green train, so he has to go play a bit up close towards Olof. Waiting and anticipating the Swedes to push into his crosshairs. Ipex now making moves through over on the B side, leaving Device by himself, but Fnatic have already spilled out onto the site, looking to try and get the plant down, and successfully endeavor just that. Magic, though, takes the head of Golden in amongst the process, and JW tries to get up close with the Glock, but misses a couple of bullets, and that could prove very costly and fatal for the rest of the troops. Crims, though, holding on for dear life with the Glock, gets in with 2 big headshots, and as ever, Crims is the bastion of hope for Fnatic, a 3K, and secures the pistol.
Yeah, the utility got used exactly as we thought. Smokes in the common areas, Molotov on the back of bomb train. It just allows them to flush out some very tricky angles and to just be able to get a little bit of space. We did see Astralis was holding on pretty well, kind of towards back Ivy, and they were even able to kind of go tit for tat in the opening of the round, but then Fnatic just clamped down in the post plant. Crims, as you said, popping off with the hat trick. This will, of course, prompt Fnatic to go ahead and grab a couple of MAC-10s, a scout and play for JW, rifles for Jaquinho and Crims. We do have the force up from Astralis as well with their own double scout setup. So all some Deagles and a 5-7 for Glaive.
Plenty of investment over on both sides. Fnatic have taken the early damage though in the form of Golden, who goes back in and actually dinks Glaive around the corner. The only thing saving him was it was the MAC-10 as opposed to a Galil or the AK. But Device has actually chipped it with a frag onto Golden, who was weakened beforehand.
Yeah, similar utility being used in the pistol round here and now. Brolin leading the charge with that MAC-10. Those 2 kills seem to have reeled this round back in. It's getting a bit dodgy, but it seems like now they're recovering just fine.
Zipek stuck on the wrong side of the smoke. Not really any hope as the rest of his team have been massacred around him. So they did kick off with the opening pick, but since then it's been all Sweden. Although Brolin is low with a 3K alongside him, Zipex would do well to hold on to this Deagle, at least affords them something to work with. Also has a flashbang, so if they want to go for some shenanigans, maybe with an A-main push or outside of Ivy, there are options available to the Danes. But there's no way he's going to win this round. He already knows that. As good as he is at clutching, this is definitely a bridge too far.
Yeah, there's really no way he might even be able to sneak in for a scout either. They're both down over in the back halls. Maybe there might be one down near bomb train or under Heaven, but yeah, he's just not going to be able to grasp onto him. So again, it will just be the Deagle being carried over, and very likely not much else. Maybe you see a couple of P250s picked up or something along those lines, but that's going to be about it as Brolin, big round there, getting 3 kills with that MAC-10, farming some cash, kind of alleviating some pressures. It seemed like Astralis were actually, you know, taking some licks on Fnatic there for a bit. Device with that scout in particular got that opening and made things, you know, a little dodgy, but again, able to recover. And now they should be gifted a free 3rd round for their efforts.
I would certainly think so and hope so. From Fnatic's perspective, JW getting out up close, yet to get any kills or deaths. He hasn't really been required with all the aggression alongside him. Golden make sure that the head of Glaive has been removed. But Zipex putting that Eagle to use. Gets a second as well onto JW. Tanked down to a measly 1 HP. So even with just a dig, they're making this costly. Post-plant comes in, and this is where the 2 AKs and MAC-10 should just rip and shred through the remainder of the CTs. The underarm grenade baskets Zipex. That leaves it down to Device with the measly P250.
I'm just saddened you missed a rip and tear reference. Instead, and
feels doom, man.
I'm about to say, I know that, you know, the Space Marine in you is a little bit disappointed in that. Amazing song as well on Spotify, by the way, if you're into metal music, would recommend. Also recommend you stick around because now we finally got our first gun round going, Vince. We got the AWP in Device's hands, full M4s and nade sets for Astralis as well. Here comes the first really big test for Fnatic. They're on still the 1 MAC-10 on Jaquinho. Op is going to be in the hands of JW. Everyone else fully equipped.
Well, in terms of keys to unlocking a potential victory, Fnatic have definitely dotted all the I's so far. Jaquinho, though, taking a lot of damage early on and nearly finished off. 5 HP to his name. The newest member into the squad will have to tread very lightly. At least he is the MAC-10 wielder, though, so it's not the end of the world. He is more of an expendable unit, and Brolan taking the initiative, getting outside already, trying to get up close and personal with Astralis. Can hear the footsteps to his left-hand side, can see Mages, finally executes onto him, but pivots back into Glaive, who is joined by dupreeh, and between the two of them, they have fended off this push, but only for a few more moments before JW pulls the trigger and gives Fnatic the advantage one more time. Just shy of a minute on the clock, and Fnatic weighing up her options. Flash out into Device. You can stay on the site. Knows his back is covered from Ivy. Glaive has that watched. Additionally, second player coming up through connector will be Zipex. May not be required because Device is doing it all alone. The AWP is just landing shots left and right. Oh, so easy for the Dane. And now Golden, 1-on-3 with the AK, gets sprayed down at range, and Astralis finally get their